Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I thought I'd do a bit of a chat about what lupus is and how I came about to have it, when I was diagnosed, medication that I take and all that lovely stuff. So first off, lupus isn't contagious or infectious, so you're not going to catch it from me. So you can still come near me. So what actually is it? So it's an incurable immune disease. Basically your immune system is very weak, your antibodies attack each other. So when you get ill, it takes you that little bit longer to sort of get to fight it and get over the illness. So like a cold, say for instance, which would normally take maybe 2-3 days, possibly 4, it could well take about 7 to 10 days, maybe even longer for someone with lupus to get over. Symptoms that you can develop, can be a sign of, is muscle and joint pain. Now, I already knew that I had rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed with that in 2010 and I was put on hydroxychloroquine, which is to help alleviate joint pain. So that is sort of where I kind of started, but I wasn't like feeling any better in myself. I was feeling very weak and very tired. I didn't have that energy or enthusiasm, and like I'd had a couple of other tests, like blood tests, but there was something that sort of indicated that there was something a little bit not right. So after about a few months, and this was in 2013, and I mean, it wasn't easy learning of it, because I'd never heard of it before. I didn't know what it was or what it entailed or anything, and the day that my doctor told me that it was lupus, I remember me and my mum had come with me, so we were driving home in silence, and sort of, I don't know if it necessarily hit us, but I do remember when we got home I was straight on the internet trying to look up about what it was, how it affected me, and all the different tablets that I might end up having to take, and all sorts of things like that. So there was a lot of things that sort of ran through my mind at that point, that caused me to sort of be like, I sort of went a little bit hysterical really, because I remember thinking like, what does that mean for me? Like, you know, how many tablets am I going to have to take? How is this going to affect me long term? Is there something I can do to not reverse it, but to really help control it? And that's where obviously medication came in. I was put on azathioprine, which is a drug that has been given to lupus patients in the past, has been seen to work in those patients. So they give it to most people when they are diagnosed with lupus. It's like the starting drug. There is no confirmed drug that actually treats lupus, which is not great, but it's something that is being worked on. There's lots of research going into it. I know there's not going to be a cure, but to find a drug that actually will treat it. So for the first couple of years that I was on azathioprine, I was okay. It got to summer 2014, I'd started a new job with BMW in Camborne, and Camborne's quite distant for me, but I wanted to do the job. I wanted to, I love cars, and working with BMW, I mean, you can't, there's not many people that if you're a lover of cars that you'd say no to BMW. But anyway, so I started there, I was really enjoying it. It was over the warmer months, so it was easier for me in terms of that the warmer weather helps my joints. Yes, I can't be out in the sun for too long with my lupus, because it can cause, because my skin is that little bit more sensitive in a sense, because you can get rashes from with lupus. That is a side effect to it. So anyway, I started at BMW and it was going well, it was fine, I was enjoying myself, and I was, you know, I was okay with the hours were fine. I mean, yes, it was long days, especially with the travel, but it was fine. I then started to fall back a little bit, and I had what we class as a lupus flare-up, and that basically means that your symptoms increase. So the joint pain that you have is, you know, triple whatever. The tiredness again triples. So everything that you're feeling is a general thing with lupus, and that's, as I say, joint pain, tiredness, little or no energy. They just increase when you have a flare-up. So I was trying to obviously muddle on through that. I had to take some time off, and it just got to the point where I thought I can't. I was feeling really low because of it. I then went on to some antidepressants, and I just thought I can't mess around these people any longer, because I can't guarantee when I'm going to get back, and I obviously couldn't guarantee that it wouldn't happen again. So I left BMW, and then I was speaking to somebody actually in BMW before I did leave, and they said, how about seeing if there is a dealership that's closer to you? I contacted my local dealership and they found me a position which was kind of varied and was only part-time, so that was fine. And yeah, so I sort of started that in October. Obviously still had this flare up in my system, it still hadn't sort of recovered, and I then went on to experience a bit more of a I don't know if I'd say a stronger flare up, but it seemed worse than what I'd had in September. So with this flare up I also got a virus, and it continued on for a long time, again to the point where I had to say, look, I'm sorry, I can't. And I hated doing it. I hated having to quit jobs because of it, because I know that if I hadn't either got lupus or been suffering with it, I'd have stayed at BMW for sure, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But anyway, that's by the by, and it's in the past. So anyway, I went back to the doctors, and they decided to change my azathioprine for my lupus, and they moved it to mycophenolate. So mycophenolate has also been used for lupus patients in the past. There's been results to say that it's helped, it's controlled the symptoms. I started on that, and I'm touching wood as I'm saying this, but since November 2014, so it's now been 3 years, I've been on mycophenolate. I feel fine. I've not had any side effects from it. It's difficult to say that I feel better from it, because I don't think I can honestly say that, but it's definitely controlled my lupus, it's definitely controlled my system. So it's almost like the mycophenolate has grabbed everything, shoved it in a room and gone, right, okay, you're going to write lines to say that you're not going to annoy me. And they're still writing lines in there, in that room, under mycophenolate. So with mycophenolate I was then also put on omeprazole, and omeprazole is used to protect the stomach basically. With taking an increased amount of tablets, the lining of your stomach can become weak, and as I say, because you're taking in so many tablets per day, they will throughout time break down the stomach wall, so omeprazole just helps to support it a little bit better. So I have to take that before I eat anything, because once I've eaten I then take my tablets, because I can't take my tablets on an empty tummy. So yeah, so that, I mean, that's basically a whole routine in itself really when you think about it. You know, you have to take one tablet and then you have to eat, and then you have to take all your other 7 tablets, and then I think, right, okay, I've had 2 breakfasts. So anyway, yeah, so I was put on that, which was fine. So at this point I was taking hydroxychloroquine, mycophenolate, omeprazole, and also the antidepressant sertraline. Sertraline was working quite well for me, so I started on 50 milligrams in the winter of 2014. 2015 I'd gone up to 100 milligrams, and because we'd had a few issues within the family in the winter again in 2015, I then increased it to 150, and it then again increased in the spring of 2016 when I separated from my partner, because I was quite flat about it, obviously. So yes, I went up to 200 milligrams a day, and I have been on that ever since. So it's not great, again, taking another load of tablets, but it is what it is. You know, what can you do? You have to do your best to try and make yourself feel better. So yeah, so along with that, I also take codeine. Now, codeine has been given to me for, again, sort of like joint and muscular pain. The hydroxychloroquine helps to control my arthritis, but also the codeine acts as a my dad's whistling. What was I saying? Yeah, so the codeine kind of acts as the little bodyguard of the hydroxychloroquine. So like the hydroxychloroquine is there helping the joints and controlling the pain and da-da-da, and the codeine is there stopping anything getting in and affecting the work of the hydroxychloroquine, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like it's their barrier, it's the bodyguard. You know, it's a nightclub bodyguard saying you can't come in. So anyway, I'm also on amitriptyline. Amitriptyline is a medication that's been given to people with sort of like, they class it as restless legs, and it basically is when you're trying to get off to sleep. So although you're tired, you feel like you just can't settle, and because your joints can feel quite sore, you'd sometimes think, well, I'll just keep moving them, and then of course you just keep awake. And so the amitriptyline just helps to sort of relax you into the point where you think, okay, I'm relaxed and I can go to sleep. So I've been on that for a couple of years now as well, and so far it's been absolutely fine. I've had no problems with it, so it's fine. And then lastly, I take Zopiclone, which is a sleeping tablet. I was prescribed that, I think, the summer of 2015, I think, and I was just taking one when I needed it. I then decided to take one every other day. My dad's still talking. Anyway, so yes, I started taking one every other day, and then started to take one every day, and sometimes I was taking 2, and I know that's completely wrong, but it's just, that was something that helped me get through what I was going through, because I was able to get off to sleep, and that is what I needed, because at night time was felt the worst when you've gone through such a big change like that, because you evaluate over everything, you think about things, but you've got no one to talk to about it. It must have been from about early this year, I think. I started taking the Zopiclone one every other night, like I had been doing previously, and then in June this year I decided, with consulting with my doctor obviously, because it's a drug you can't just alter something straight away, so I decided to take one every 2 nights. Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? So one, and then you do 2 nights without, and then you do another one. Yeah, so one every 2 nights, which was fine. Previously I was also on prednisolone, and that sort of came about in the August 2014. I was first off put on 20 milligrams, but that didn't work. I then went up to 40, and then I went up to 60. I'm sure I was up to 60, something like that. And with prednisolone, because it is a steroid, it you can't just sort of, again, you can't just stop it. You have to go down gradually. I started like dropping down like 5 milligrams every month, and then when it sort of came, I was around the 10 milligram mark that I was on. I would take 10 milligrams for 2 weeks, and then I would do 10, 9, 10, 9 for another 2 weeks, and then I go on to 9, and then I do 9 for 2 weeks, and then I do 9, 8, 9, 8 for 2 weeks, and so on until I got down to one that I was taking one every other day, and then I came off it. I think that was the best way to do it. Obviously if you're in that situation, you're on steroids, then obviously speak to your doctor. Don't just go on what I've done. What have I got there? Don't just go on what I just did. You know, speak to your GP, but it is advised to wean yourself off them really slowly. You shouldn't be rushing it, because your body can't adjust to that dramatic change. Okay, so when it comes to when I actually take those tablets, I take hydroxychloroquine, 200 milligrams twice a day. So I take one in the morning and one in the evening. The mycophenolate, I take 1 gram, so it's 2 tablets of 500 milligrams, and I take 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, so altogether I have 2 grams. I take omeprazole, which is a 20 milligram tablet, once a day, as I say, before I have any food and take my other tablets. I also take my sertraline, 2 tablets of 100 milligram that I take in the morning. So then codeine I take, because that comes in a 15 milligram, and I take 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, so in total I have 60 milligrams a day. The amitriptyline that I take is 10 milligrams, and I take 2 of those at night time, so in total 20 milligrams. And then the zopiclone is a 7.5 milligram, and as I say, I take 1 every 2 nights. So with lupus you get like different levels. Your sort of first level is when you get skin rashes and you have fatigue, and the intensity of lupus can go all the way up to where it affects your major organs, so your lungs, liver, kidneys and heart. So I think I'm more on that side, but I'm not at that point of severe where it is affecting those things. I have regular blood tests and kidney checks to ensure that my kidneys are all working properly as they should be, and they are all fine. And I remember when I first discovered that it could be that severe, it did scare me, because I thought, quite like, it can affect my organs, it can, and you know, like, I don't, what do you do? Because you don't know when that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, and it's scary. It honestly is scary, because you just think, yeah, it's hard to get across that feeling of when you know, you're told that, yeah, you're not there yet, but it might happen, and you think, oh Lord, okay. But anyway, I'm not there yet, I'm fine in that sense, but it did sort of hit me like a ton of bricks, and I thought, oh, Scheisse Manelli, what is going to happen? So, 1, it isn't contagious. 2, just because I don't physically show it on the outside, like at the moment I've got makeup on and, you know, I've tried to make myself look somewhat presentable, it doesn't mean that it's not affecting me on the inside, and it is affecting me on the inside. I'm constantly tired. So yes, that's the second thing to take away from today. Never judge a book by its cover. Age old saying, but it's true. I used to do it when I was younger, and I don't do it anymore because I know what it feels like when people judge me. Thirdly, that this is an incurable disease at present, and it's not looking likely that it's going to change anytime soon. I feel like I'm in the guides or something doing this, but clearly not. It's incurable. Tablets are treating it, but they are not solving the problem. So they are that short-term fix. They are that I don't know what. Couldn't think of something to compare it to, but never mind. I've had to change quite a few different things. Obviously with work, I've not been able to work properly. I work for myself as and when I can, as and when I have clients, etc. I think as well I've learnt who are true friends in this period with my lupus, because not everybody understands it and how it can affect me. So yeah, so I can have plans to see some friends, that day comes and then I'm feeling crap basically and have to cancel, and I hate cancelling on people, I hate it. And thankfully I've still got 3 really good reliable friends out of this that understand the situation for me. Don't sort of question when I say I can't do something. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and that you're all well. Please like this video if you did like it. If you didn't like it, then please tell me why. I'm being honest in it, so what's not to like? Also, if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to add your account to YouTube, so it's not like you're having to pay a subscription fee to be here. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I shall speak to you soon. Okay, bye!